February 1st, 2021, Monday Night Raw. You live for the fight when it's all that you got. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan and Raj Giri. Here to talk about the fallout from the Royal Rumble. Randy Orton versus Edge. Alexa versus Nikki Cross. Carlito back? ? So much happening tonight on the show. New number one tag titles contenders. For the women's side of things, Naomi finally getting the push she deserves? ? So much to dive into. Matt Morgan, what did you think of tonight's show?
It had a lot to it, right? It had a lot of questions that I still, like you just did. Question mark at the end of everything you said. Yes. I felt the same way. Carlito thing's a little puzzling. It's very random. Like, what's the difference between him and Chris Masters? What's the difference between him and, like, I don't know, anybody I can name from that generation. Matt Morgan. But no, seriously, it's odd. But he looks in great shape. I'm happy for him. I think MVP opened that door a little bit for him as well. That's the same generation type of wrestler, and he's paid huge dividends on that show, MVP.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Matt, as a former wrestler with WWE, is there sort of something in the back of your head that goes, never change your phone number, because just in case you never know when they want to get a hold of you?
1 trillion, trillion percent. Yes. I had this conversation, ironically enough, with Angelina Love. Remember Angelina Love from TNA?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was trying to see if I can set up something for her family member for a job locally here. We were just shooting the shit, and I said, like, she's like, "Oh, here's my number." I'm like, "It's the same number that it's been in my phone apparently for like 8 years now." Wow. She's like, "We don't want to change it, you know that." I was like, "Yeah, we all think exactly the same."
Nice.
Hey, that you never know, man.
Yeah, you never know. That's the number they got.
Well, it's weird, though, sometimes, too, right? Sometimes you hear from old friends. Sometimes you hear from people you used to date. You have to explain that you're married. It's very awkward. They say happily, ? You say yes, happily.
Oh, my God.
No.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You're getting that kind of stuff.
I've had the same number for 25 years. So.
Yeah, wow, me too. Since probably like 2000.
Yeah.
Really? I thought I had mine forever.
I also have a Google Voice number that redirects, so that's like a local number, and then my original one is kind of like the BAT number that only I don't give it out if I'm filling out forms online or anything like that.
I try and figure it. I'm sorry.
What sucks is I literally have 4 phones. 4 phones for 4 different lines, 4 different jobs, 4 different reasons. But like my main one, like after I got over, okay, I don't want, WWE or another wrestling organization or bookers for that, promoters for that matter, to lose it, right? Mm-hmm. Probably like second year after retirement, I was like, I really don't care. Maybe I should change it. But then it became, well, crap. This is like what you just said, Glenn. All my friends back in Connecticut that I grew up with have it. Residents here now have it, right? So it's like you don't really want to change it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I try and figure it out. I get weird Facebook requests from people I haven't talked to in 20 years. And I'm like, oh, because it's tied to my phone number. They synced their contacts. They still have me in their phone, But yeah, it's weird when you think about how we're all connected. Email address is kind of the same thing, right? I think, and we are the last generation to grow up with random screen names. Now I'm sure everyone just has first name, last name at Gmail like an adult. But you think about old emails that people used to have for you, Hotmail addresses ending in numbers like 420 and 69. We've all been there.
Always.
Yeah. So yeah, we're the last generation to not take email so seriously.
Right. And so to your original point before we were talking about that is Carlito. So
yeah.
Carlito, he's kind of WWE's taking a look at him at being a producer. I can see him being a talent after how he looked tonight. I mean, he looked good. He's bigger than he's ever been. He's in better condition than I've ever seen him. So, those are obviously huge pluses for him.
Keep in mind, he was booked as originally when he got to OVW, he was meant to be more of a cruiserweight style of wrestler.
Yeah.
Like when he was there, he was doing a lot of lucha stuff, a lot of stuff off the top rope.
Right.
Using the ropes a lot to do some aerial acrobatic type stuff. And then, like, once he got released from WWE, he started making this joke, that we've always made, being a body guy. That's why you always see a hashtag body guy on a lot of his posts.
Yeah.
And it's because, his body wasn't that great. He was never a body guy. He's a guy that could work. And he's of the belief that you're supposed to be able to work. You can't just be a big muscle jacked up dude and that's it. You should be able to work. So it's to see him like now put the body with the ability to work, like hope they give him a chance. I'd like to see that for him.
Yeah, and he's 245 pounds now, they said. So he was probably like probably 200 back in the day?
Yeah, I want to say like 225, I would say at the biggest.
Yeah.
But he can still move is the thing. He would still be able to move. If you watch him versus Cena, he wasn't like Cena didn't dwarf him.
Right.
Like he does many others. That shows you where we're at in today's day and age of pro wrestling too, by the way. When Carly's looking like freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger in the ring compared to everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and if you join Matt and I later tonight on the after show, we're gonna play a game where we name wrestlers and then guess if their email address contains 69, 420, or 007. So at some point in their life. So stay tuned for that.
My original Twitter at 007.
See, there you go.
Stellar Justin Lopez saying, "Hallelujah, we're not getting Orton and Edge at WrestleMania again."
No.
Yeah, it's going to be, and we'll talk more about it later. It's going to be Edge versus Roman Reigns. So Brett Murphy saying, "Bad hot take, not really, but Edge's promo is awesome." It was.
Why is that a bad hot take?
I think just everyone thinks it. It's a common take, I guess.
Gotcha.
Ronald Tooth will disagree on this one, but main event was booked perfectly. Slow burn, the Orton versus the Fiend.
I keep feeling like every week, and now the Fiend comes back, and now the Fiend comes. Like I'm just waiting for it to happen, and I'm impressed they're not doing it.
Yes.
Do you remember when Papa Shango had ooze coming out of the Ultimate Warrior's head? That's what this was like with Alexa Bliss.
But to me, is one of the most memorable experiences of my wrestling fandom career, as a kid, rather.
Papa Shango?
Ultimate Warrior's black ooze coming down his forehead.
Oh god! See, I found it corny then when I was a kid.
No, I was scared for the Warrior.
The one time I was scared was when Undertaker put Warrior in the casket, and the time when Jake the Snake had all the cobras. That snake pit.
Me too on both of those. By the way, those were a little bit more scary. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Chris Kazmich saying, "Thanks for answering my question on stereo last week. Super cool. I'll be back tonight. And also, how excited is Raj for the Super Bowl halftime show? I am jazzed. Should be great.
What is it?
The Weekend. Blinding lights, baby."
Oh, sorry.
And finally, Jax Collins. Thanks as always, Jax. Saying, "Raj, the magic hate. But Taker coming through the ring. Kane making fire from the ring post. Vince currently as ripped as Matt. WWE is a magical place."
It's true.
Yeah, some of those it's just the entrance, and that's a little different.
I don't know if Vince is ripped anymore, for the record.
I don't know either. He's aged a lot these last few years.
He's still working out, though. You gotta say.
He is,
I'm sure he is.
Jacoby Wright saying, "What do you guys think of Priest versus Styles at WrestleMania?"
Be great, but I think it's going to be. How long do you think? I think they're going to keep this Bad Bunny thing with the Miz and Morrison going.
I felt like tonight was it.
Think so?
Where did that come from? What made you ask that question?
Well, because it seems like Bad Bunny now, he was probably there, so he's like, "I'll show up tonight. We'll do a thing," but maybe the next pay-per-view, maybe Raw.
How did Priest versus AJ Styles make you think of that?
Because what's the plan for Damian Priest? It looks like he's going to be feuding with The Miz as his first feud.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And he already beat him tonight, so it's pretty clean. I got the feeling like this was it. We're like 70 days until WrestleMania. They wouldn't be dragging this on until then.
That would be a very good WrestleMania opponent for Priest if their goal is to get him over.
Yeah,
AJ can make anybody, and he usually has one of the top 3 matches every night, no matter who he's against.
Yeah, I was thinking Randy Orton. I hope the stuff with the Fiend is over by then. But
got to beat Randy Orton, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sean Hunter, $5. Hope you guys are having a great night. Do you think they keep the Fiend off till Mania, like when Taker returned after getting buried alive by Kane?
Okay, I'd be okay with that, actually.
Yeah.
Raj, you don't like the magic? That means you have to see like 2 or 3 at least.
Right, yeah. The next 2 months, it's going to be just magic all over the place.
Thomas Stinson, $4.99. The fact that Bray is not on TV and still making someone go over Alexa Bliss is the biggest flex right now. LOL.
I thought you call that a flex, but yes.
I think it's working. I think it's good. Alexa is very entertaining in this role. They're getting to benefit from not having a crowd to do some crazier stuff.
Yep.
I'm not a fan, but that being said, I thought tonight's Raw was the best in a long time. Like,
Yeah,
I thought it went fast. I mean, it
was.
outside of Alexa changing clothes in the middle of the match, I thought it was all pretty strong. So
that was cool.
Prana Shah with the real question, is Rhea going to SmackDown then?
I feel like they could use it more. Sasha needs some new opponents, and Rhea would be awesome. Sasha versus Rhea.
And who's Bianca challenge? Asuka?
Yeah.
And wins the title, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? If she wins the title.
I think Bianca versus Sasha, I don't know. I feel like Sasha I think Sasha should beat her.
Worse, I don't think WWE would let Bianca beat Sasha. I don't. Not yet.
Really? You think they let her beat Asuka though?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, wait, time out. You think WWE views Asuka in a bigger light than they look at Sasha?
I mean, Sasha just beat Asuka at the Royal Rumble.
Well, brother,
Asuka was running scared from Alexa's changing clothes a couple weeks ago.
Yes, but
Sasha is their golden goose right now, bro.
But look at the win-loss record on pay-per-views, and with Asuka, they still protect Asuka.
Because they fucked over her. Excuse my language. They screwed her over so badly, Sasha, for years. I think they finally got rid of all that. They see what she is. She's a huge star, and she's off and running. She's on a mega stardom level right now, all by herself.
Yeah.
No, I love Sasha. I mean, I love all of these women. That
I think
we're
they see it
here.
too, though. They see it too, though, I think.
That would be a huge vote of confidence. I mean, the chat room is saying that Sasha's the bigger star. Bianca versus Sasha's easy money. I mean, I don't know.
Bianca won't go over on her is my concern. It's a 50-50 call.
Okay, but here's the other question, though.
She has to win.
Asuka's promos, like, Asuka's in a good groove promo-wise right now. But Sasha, like, can Rhea... Now, remember Rhea's promos against Charlotte and how they were? Like, Rhea versus Sasha? Oh, I worry about Rhea in those promos. Whereas Bianca can go toe-to-toe.
Here's the difference. Rhea comes in as a heel. Big, huge difference. I'll just speak from experience. We're way more confident when we have the opportunity to be a heel, especially when we're younger. Yeah. It's easy to be a dick. It is.
I think Sasha would have to be slightly heelish if she's going with Bianca. Like if that's the feud, like she would have to kind of be that. And yeah, I agree. I kind of don't like that.
But the swag versus swag part is a huge draw. Like I'm attracted to wanting to see that. You know what I mean? That's what sucks, I guess.
Yeah. Sev V, $5. Hey guys, we haven't had any mentions of Miz in the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2 days. Do they hold the Money in the Bank cash until after Mania?
I can tell you what.
I don't even notice it.
Yeah, and do you think they really have a plan for when they're going to have him cash in? I mean,
no.
You read Daniel Bryan's books, all these Money in the Bank cash-ins are decided like the day of. They're like, Daniel Bryan, get over here. We're going to have you cash in today. Yeah. So my guess would be after Mania.
Sometimes they have it a little bit drawn out more, like when Ken Anderson when he won it, and others have won it, like Edge, and others. But still, you're right, Raj. That's the majority of the time. Hey, Daniel Bryan, come here. We slipped on a banana peel today, and guess what you're doing?
Jody Shauna Jenkins, Canadian $10. That's like $8 American. Full disclosure, I'm a huge Brian Cage Goldberg and even high voltage mark, saying that there needs to be a wrecking ball of a wrestler like a Jeff Cobb. I really miss beasts like that.
I do too. I concur.
Yes.
Have you seen this new the college wrestler Parker Bordeaux?
No.
Oh, is that
They're comparing him to Brock Lesnar.
He looks like kind of like Brock.
Where is he from? He's really good amateur, right?
Yeah. And Paul Heyman's tweeted about him. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
He's going to be a beast. If he decides to go the wrestling route, he could be that guy.
We'll see. Amateur wrestling's a tough connection to make in pro wrestling. That's what makes Brock and Kurt stand out so much, because everything's mirrored image. You lock up with a headlock. Sorry, a normal tie-up, right? In pro wrestling is left hand. What the hell?
That's the dude.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just saying people compare him to Brock Lesnar.
Let me know when you come back so I can.
Okay. Yes, I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't realize you were doing a visual.
So real quick, in pro wrestling, you lock up with your left hand behind your opponent's neck, all right, and your right arm on the guy's elbow, right? crook of the elbow.
Right.
Amateur wrestling is a complete opposite. Your arms are reversed. And worse, amateur wrestling, you're not taught to let somebody lead you around. You don't give up an inch. You fight every ounce of your opponent. You don't let them lead you around the ring. That Kurt Angle says the hardest thing for amateur wrestlers to learn. So like when some of these guys really are able to adapt, they deserve all the even more credit than the rest of us because they don't have to unlearn all those habits. Right. So another reason why the guy that's amateur wrestler who's on TV right now is being severely underutilized. What's his name? Shorty G.
Chad Gable.
Shorty G. Like he was really damn good.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I mean more just from a physical look appearance. You know, like that. Vince is going to love that guy.
Yeah, and he's natural. Yeah.
Okay. MJB in the P2B 499. Okay, we got to get through the super chats. We got to get into the show. Ethan Kaufman, $3 suitors Drew get at Mania since Sheamus is now.
Fiend.
Who did we say last night? Last night we were hoping for
Cena?
Bobby. We were hoping for Cena.
Cena's not. So Cena's out of WrestleMania. He says he's filming that Marvel show.
DC.
DC. What's it called?
It's the Suicide Squad spinoff. Right. Peacemaker is this character that's like a Captain America.
Right, so great. No Cena. Then I was hoping Bobby Lashley, but Bobby beating him, which won't happen. I don't know. I really don't care. No offense to Drew.
Yeah, I hate to say it too because he's doing everything he can, but
yeah. MJB in the PTB 499. Do you see Brock Lesnar making a return to WWE or AEW?
WWE.
He will never wrestle for AEW.
Yeah, and we can get the rest of these. Let's go a couple.
Last one for now.
Okay.
Terrible Trey 89. 499. I've been stuck at home with COVID. So happy to finally be able to catch a stream. You guys are great. Thanks so much, man. Trey. We hope you get better soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so we open tonight. The fallout from the match. We have Drew McIntyre out there talking to Edge, interrupted by Sheamus. Drew trying to get Edge to declare who he's going to face at WrestleMania. Edge leaves. Sheamus kicks Drew, setting off their feud in motion. What'd you think of this as a start tonight, Matt?
Meh.
Yeah, it was a little.
I gotta admit, like Edge's promo, I wasn't sure what he was getting at. Like, was he saying he needs Drew should have more of a killer instinct? Like he shouldn't be happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was he going for Mick Foley for that? He tried to cut that promo to get Edge all fired up once.
Right.
I was really trying to dig him out of it mentally because he's been so freaking gold in his promos, right?
And he was gold later in the show, but this one was just it was a miss. I thought for him it's a miss
for him.
And then the Sheamus thing. I mean, we knew that's where it was headed, but I just thought that should have been a more violent beatdown. Like they've been building it for months, just one kick. Like he should have really put it to him, in my opinion.
Yeah. So we went from that to Riddle versus Bobby Lashley for the United States title. Riddle got the crap kicked out of him before and after the match, so much so he couldn't remember who he just wrestled or what was going on.
What was the finish?
Well, the finish was Lashley had him in the Hurt Lock and then didn't let go after 5. And then, he dumped him on the floor after.
Yeah, he got DQ'd.
DQ? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. And then Riddle started tapping just a second after that. And then he got the crap kicked out of him some more.
So, dear WWE, this is not how you build a young talent. This is not getting a rub from somebody who's more over than that young talent either.
What about this for WrestleMania? And then this was what I'm thinking, because they're keeping Lashley really strong. What if it's Drew versus Lashley versus Brock versus Keith Lee, a 4-way match?
Oh, okay.
You get a new guy in with Keith Lee. You got the Brock and Lashley dynamic. It just makes it so much more interesting.
I didn't know you could just pull Brock out of the thin air as an option.
Conjured him.
It's any time around WrestleMania season, you could pull Brock in.
So I would love that match. I really would. And I feel bad saying this because I do like Drew. I don't know what's not clicking for me with him. But like out of all 3 of those talents, he's the one least I want the title on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because having just Lashley constantly killing Riddle, I don't see it leading to Riddle winning the title, because if he does, he's damaged goods by then. It seems like it's building Lashley for something bigger.
Okay, but what if they go with more of this memory loss gimmick and Riddle shows up next week with a haircut in a suit and he's like straight edge now and a completely different personality.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Is he rocking that sweet hat or no?
No, I think we just thank you, man. No, we get him the Vans hat from the painter's cap with the checkered tassels, the Legionnaire hat.
I had that. I swear I had that.
Looking like Rusty Griswold in European Vacation. No, I think this is a chance to do a complete personality reboot for Riddle and just like Gilligan's Island it. And have because that's the level of amnesia that he appears to have.
They did that. They did that with Mick Foley. Remember with Mick Foley and Vader back in the day, where Foley had amnesia.
Yeah, I think this is the chance to hit the reset button.
Yeah,
change his character.
I think he could use it. Brad Swint saying, "Paying Raj to agree with Raj. Can't stand the hocus pocus sci-fi BS with Alexis, even though she is way over. P.S. The Parker dude is a stud. Absolutely."
Take it back, Brad Swint. The magic part is awesome.
There's a Hogan Warrior angle you're gonna love where MJB and the P2B saying, I was hoping to possibly see CM Punk and or AJ Lee or Sable to go for one last run in the Rumble.
Where did you get all these names? I don't know.
I mean, Sable.
Do I want to see it? No, Sable's got to be like 60, right?
No, is she?
She's probably definitely in her 50s.
50s.
She's 53.
50.
Still looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen recent pictures?
I'm just Googling and seeing the most recent stuff online. I mean, no, I think,
Yeah. Finally, Terrible Trey, 89, saying, Edge is one of the best promos right now, in my opinion, and him and Heyman's build to Edge versus Roman will be money. Absolutely.
Obviously, yes.
It's going to be awesome.
Do you think Edge should cut his hair?
It was distracting tonight.
What? Wait, what didn't you guys like?
I think it makes him look older.
Why?
He looked more gray or something tonight.
Yeah, he just looks a little less like with his short hair. I think he looks awesome and like he's in the prime of his life. A couple of years ago when he had the short haircut.
I like him with the long hair. He just needs to dye it or something.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He did the right thing. He did the right thing shaving his beard too.
Yeah. He was making him look old because you have those huge gray patches. But
yeah, it's true. You know how you get those when you start saying things like, who's this Bad Bunny? And what's up with the kids and listening to the trip hop? You get grayer.
What's with these kids listening to a language that none of them can speak?
I'm assuming a lot of people speak Spanish.
I didn't understand a word that Bee Gees song.
Glenn. Thanks, Glenn. No crap.
I don't know. I took Spanish and French in high school and junior high. I don't remember any.
We all loved the Macarena back in the day. Menudo.
It's true. Me gusta bailar. Anyhow, let's talk about Randy Orton's promo tonight. Backstage on Edge. So, setting this up for tonight. Tonight's going to be no mercy, no compassion, no WrestleMania main event for him. I mean, we've seen this before a few times.
I agree. No, I agree. This was tough to be excited for. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I was surprised they didn't announce it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
No, that's it.
I was surprised they didn't announce it ahead of time because it's probably the biggest match they've had on. This was supposed to be a WrestleMania match. The original plan was for that to be at WrestleMania. So, but I thought Orton's promo was good.
It was. It's just a promo to a match that I don't need to see again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why they did it tonight on Raw, not a pay-per-view. And I think that probably will help with the ratings having that go last. I mean, weren't you tweeting people were doing this as Edge's first time wrestling on Raw in like a decade?
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah, so I think they'll get a pop for it. It certainly couldn't carry a pay-per-view at this point, given how much we've seen it. But Xavier Woods versus Mustafa Ali tonight with Retribution at ringside. Mustafa. I'm never gonna get that right. I'm never gonna get that right.
It just sticks out to me so much. I thought Joe was mispronouncing it, but you guys said no, that's the new pronunciation.
Yeah.
This was good, dude. Ali's friggin' really talented, man. He is good.
He is. This was, I agree with you. It was a good match, but if the story is building to Ali and Kofi, shouldn't Ali have won here? And so Kofi gets the revenge later on?
Yeah.
You would think so.
It seems weird that by him losing, do I care that Kofi beats him? He's already been beaten by
he's
Xavier.
in the same spot as Ricochet was going against, Bobby Lashley and his squad.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing. You're like, for sure they're building this younger talent. For sure they are. No?
Right.
So Xavier Woods won that match, and then we had Miz and Morrison out in the ring for another edition of Miz TV with Bad Bunny out there. Miz and Morrison pitching Bad Bunny on doing a record with him. They're going to train him to become a WWE superstar. And then Bunny brings out Damian Priest, which leads us to Damian Priest versus The Miz. What do you think of this as the introduction?
I thought this was actually a good introduction, even though I was just burying the performance last night. Sincerely, I thought this was a good introduction because it did make Priest feel like a big deal. Like, right? He didn't just show up. He didn't just come out of the blue. Strange music didn't play and a new talent just walk out there cold. He was built up because this supposed humongous, star brought him out, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I had a big feel to it.
Yeah, he felt like a superstar. Like, they did a great job tonight. Now, we've seen this time and time again with like Keith Lee in the past. They need to keep it going. They, don't have him lose to John Morrison next week.
I'll argue he was introduced much better than Keith Lee was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you do this more often? The last one I could think of, and I'm not making a comparison between the people doing the introduction, but the last one I could think of was Bret Hart introducing Sami Zayn for that match against John Cena, which was a phenomenal way to introduce him to the main roster.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, this was smart on WWE's part with this Bad Bunny stuff. That stuff got a ton of publicity, ton of views. I'm not that familiar with him. But,
did it really? Okay. Then I'll eat my words. Okay.
I was reading up on him a bit because, that's what I do to stay hip with the kids. And no, I think I like the guy's swagger. I like his look. I like what he's about. It seems like he's got a lot of really progressive views, does a lot for his community. And I think his music, again, not my normal thing, but I get that people like it and I respect that.
Yeah, and you could tell he was like Wale. Like, you could tell he's legitimately a big wrestling fan. I remember Wale had a Razor Ramon song. I mean, he named his song Booker T,
Yeah.
So
something. The Rascals in Canada had that song with Bret Hart. Look what that did for their career.
Right, yeah. Insane Clown Posse.
Hey, man, Gathering of the Juggalos still was going strong up until COVID. We got a couple super chats.
Yeah.
Here, what do we got back? Matt's distaste. People giving Raj the money to agree or disagree with Raj. Terrible Trey 89, $4.99. Edge is one of the best promos right now, in my opinion.
We got this
one. Oh, we did. Oh, well, excuse me.
Yes.
Behind. Kenneth Maynor, $4.99. How about Alexa versus Charlotte in a Funhouse match at Mania? They haven't feuded much, and Ric Flair in a cinematic match could be cool too.
Why does Ric Flair got to be part of it?
I don't know.
Ric Flair's above that. I don't know. The cinematic stuff, I just think it's worn its welcome.
I still like them, just if it depends on who's doing it and how it's done.
What's the last one you liked, though? Like, I can't think of one since Stadium Stampede that I liked.
But guys, it's been less than a year that we saw Boneyard. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, they haven't had that long to be running with this and making them that great, right? There's only been 2 or 3 really good ones, right? 2.
Yeah,
for sure.
Boneyard, Funhouse,
and then
Firefly
Bray versus Cena.
Yeah,
that's
because they've been phoning it in since then. I think they think it's easier. They're not giving it that spark it had initially. Chris Pantaleo, $4.99. Remember when WWF made fun of WCW for the old 40-year-old wrestlers?
Yes, Age in a Cage. JR called it back in the day when Hogan faced Piper.
40 now isn't what 40 then was. You look at us.
AJ Styles is in his 40s.
Yeah, guys, we're all going to be 45 years old this year.
Yeah, I thought 45 looked like my mom and dad did at 45, which is very different than how we all look in our generation.
But in your generation, Matt, you had a ton of young guys. Do you know how many guys in the Royal Rumble were under 30?
No.
2. Dominic Mysterio and Otis. That's it. Ooh. Everyone else is 30 or over.
Oh my God, that is a very big statistic. Seriously.
Yeah, in the men's Rumble.
2?
Yeah.
2?
2.
Holy crap. Yeah. And ironically, what were the girls? I bet you there was many.
Yeah, I think there's probably a bunch.
More than not. Well, no, they had some old school girls in there too, though.
Yeah.
And then 80 Superfan $5 saying rest in peace to Dustin Diamond, who passed away today at the age of 44.
Yeah, Screech. He was.
So this is gonna sound weird. I could have sworn I thought I saw this headline 2 or 3, maybe even 4 days ago.
So he had cancer. So he
yeah,
got
stage 4.
Oh, was that the headline? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and so he's having chemo. He said it was painful. He was having a lot of pain. And then, today it was revealed that today he passed away. He was a huge wrestling fan. Yeah. He was a part of Hulk Hogan's Championship Wrestling. He did a thing for TNA back in the day. He faced somebody in a quick match. So yeah, I mean, it's sad. He was only 44.
More importantly, he was Screech.
He was Screech.
I know. It's sad he never got like his redemptive comeback. I know he had a very turbulent couple of decades, and he was on the outs with the cast so much they didn't include him in the reboot. I think it's just it's really tragic.
I had no desire to see the reboot because he wasn't in it. Like if I heard he was in it, I would have watched it.
It was actually
one of the best parts of that show.
Yeah.
The reboot is different than you think it's going to be. It actually kind of makes fun of the original a lot, but it's
like 90210, right?
I was surprised how much we liked it because my wife and I weren't huge fans of the original show. But yeah, no, definitely very, very tragic, passing away at 44. So Damian Priest won over The Miz tonight. This was a good match. Priest did everything he needed to do. He was celebrating with Bad Bunny on the ramp. I think this was a really good entrance for Priest. I hope they take him in a good direction from here.
He's got all the potential in the world. He's got the size. He's got good look. He can talk. Cool voice. So,
yeah. Who would you like to see him feud with, Matt?
Priest. I don't know. I think AJ. Somebody already said AJ at WrestleMania. I liked that.
Yeah, it should be someone he's going to beat. So, and again, I said I think Orton because he's that could help just establish him, get him someone credible right off the bat.
So Matt, tell me if you think I'm nuts about this.
I think you're nuts for not going to the next match.
That's what I was doing. And I was teeing it up.
We're gonna get on radio like at 2 a.m. at this rate.
Stereo. We're gonna be fine, Matt. It's all gonna be okay.
Is that what the kids call it? Is that what the kids call it?
Gonna get on the
Glenn,
stereo.
I'm aging 10 years per day, I feel.
Yes. I know the feeling. Well,
yeah.
Take my head at you.
You gotta
team title match.
Hey, I was singing the Bee Gees last night, so I feel you guys.
Yes. Lucha House Party versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Matt, I thought this was actually a really good match.
It was a great match. It was. But again, what I always say, I can't unsee what I've seen for more than a year with this team. So even if I said, like, okay, if they win this, it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
The bell-to-bell wrestling was freaking phenomenal, though. Yes.
Yeah, it was a really good match. And Hurt Business got the win like they should. But yeah, to your point, Matt, as soon as you see the Lucha House Party, they're losing. There's no question on how the match is ending.
And if there's an out chance that they won even, it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, if they won, it'd make me mad because they should not be beating the Hurt Business.
Right, because of how they've been booked.
Right. But the story was continuing to tease the tension between Shelton and Cedric at the end. Shelton tagged himself in when Cedric had the win and, hit pay dirt and got the pin.
I don't know why they're feuding. I don't know why they're beefing with each other. Like, they should just be this dominating faction, steamrolling people until it gets dull and then start that stuff.
They just they go to that way too soon with the splitting up when they just got together. They haven't been together that long. Get them established first.
Oh, I agree. So Terrible Trey 89 499 saying, please keep my family in your thoughts. My grandfather's fighting for his life due to COVID. The podcast help keeps my mind off things. Thank y'all.
You got it, Trey.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Trey. I hope everything ends up okay.
Man, it's just such a tough time right now. We have the number one contenders triple threat. Of course, the Hurt Business won that match against Lucha House Party. Number one contenders triple threat. We had Charlotte, Flair, and Asuka versus Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose to see who's going to face Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for those women's tag team titles. And wouldn't you know it, Charlotte and Asuka at a disadvantage because Ric Flair and Lacey Evans made an interruption distracting Charlotte.
It was good to freshen it up, though, right? As to, well, real quick, who was the winner, Glenn? Sorry.
Lana and Naomi are your new number one contenders.
So, what do you guys think of this? Like, I'm happy the two girls get a chance, right? That's cool. But is it really going anywhere? Is this just a team being put together for the tag champs to steamroll?
Yeah, I worry about that for Naomi.
That's what it seems like to me.
You know what I mean? And Lana's the one who they steamroll. Naomi gets in, gets to get all her shine, gonna make her hot tag and a great comeback. But then somehow Lana screws it up and gets pinned. Usually, when you see an uneven tag team like that, that's usually why they're booked that way. There's one person that takes all the bumps, there's one person that takes all the losses and all the pins, so the other talent doesn't get affected in their singles career. So in a way, that's good, right? Yeah. But at the same token, it's like I wish they just do more for, just I don't even know why she's in a tag team to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I think Naomi. We talked about this so many times. There's so much potential with her. But I think if you're going against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, unless it's a dance contest, you don't want Lana as your partner. Mm-hmm. That's not credibility.
She's not right. Yeah.
Yeah. When is Elimination Chamber is only in like 20 days, right? It's February 21st.
It's usually a short month, yeah.
They didn't even mention it on the show tonight. So this almost seemed like they're building to a Raw match as opposed to the pay-per-view. But we'll see.
We shall see. So, yeah. Winner and new number one contender, Lana and Naomi. Hey, tonight after the show, we're going to hop on over to our sponsor, Stereo, for the after show, as it were. So this episode is brought to you by Stereo. If you ever scream at this show when Matt can't remember the name of a wrestler, or when I have a terrible hot take and you wish you could make your voice heard, well, now you can on Stereo. Stereo is the app where you can ask us questions and we can hear your voice directly broadcasted out there to our entire audience. You can join us live for our after party, the after show, as it were, exclusively on Stereo every Monday night. Again, Stereo is that live conversation app where you can co-host, be a part of the conversation, or simply listen. They have thousands of live social conversations with a wide variety of genres for every interest, including news, comedy, sports, and more. You can choose whether to be a co-host, participate as a guest, or just listen to a variety of different voices, different channels. I was listening to Adam Carolla do a Q&A on there the other day, and a lot of people from the Starburns Network really loving it, really digging it, and we're loving doing the after show, as it were, Matt Morgan and myself, every Monday after we finish the Raw coverage here on the Wrestling Gang podcast. And what we love about it, this app allows us to build a closer connection with you by engaging in direct conversations, and you can record those questions and send them to us directly. So be sure to join us on the Stereo app for uncensored opinions and exclusive content. And we can't even play it for you on this podcast. It would just sound like Morse code with the level of beeping that would be going on for how uncensored we are on Stereo. So here's what we want you to do. Download the Stereo app, and if you want to go right to the after show tonight, it's going to start at about 9:30 Pacific, bit.ly/aftershow21. That's for today, February 1st, bit.ly aftershow21. And when you get Stereo, be sure to follow both Matt Morgan and myself, stereo.com/Matt Morgan, stereo.com/Glenn Rubenstein, and you'll be notified whenever we go live. So we thank Stereo for sponsoring the podcast, and we'll be heading over there after this wraps up tonight for the after show, as it were.
And thank all of you in advance for jumping on over and joining us there. Seriously, guys, thank you.
Absolutely. I can't believe how late people want to stay up. Matt, we got through probably a third of the questions we had last week. There were so many of them. It was nuts.
Oh, I was getting beat up for it, Glenn. I know. I heard all about it.
I'll try tonight to do my best to get to as many as possible, but be sure to participate, ask those questions, and we look forward to seeing you on there. Kobe time. $2 saying turn Riddle heel and have Russo be his manager.
What? Are you trying to get this guy killed?
things that are never going to happen for 200, Alex.
Well, mine scrolled off, Raj. Do you have the?
Yeah. But that being said, I think I like the idea of Riddle turning heel, and I do think there's a spot for Russo.
Oh, and Lee, no, Stereo is absolutely free, so be sure to download that, follow us, and ask questions on there. Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Michael Ryan, the $5 super chat, saying Edge flashback to the Brood when Alexa started bleeding. Yeah.
Michael Ryan, you saw how that just got over. You had to see that, Michael Ryan. I'm sorry. Poor Michael Ryan.
JB 499. All I got is repackaged heel Aleister Black or surprise Karrion Kross call up for Drew. He needs a fresh heel. Who you feel?
Karrion Kross can't be coming up to TV and losing. No way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It would be too soon. Like I mentioned earlier, the four-way I think would be awesome.
I do too. That'd be great.
Antoine Fair, $5. Don't want Priest to feud with any big name. Let him be dominant in the mid card. Feud with Morrison or someone. Do what they should have done with Lee.
Yeah.
Yes, Antoine. I have no problem with that. That's how you used to book talents when you first bring them up.
John Cena's bald spot, $10. Haven't seen you in a while. Bald spot. Yeah. Want Lashley to face Drew at WrestleMania, win the title, and Brock to return to face Keith Lee at WrestleMania. Drew Lashley would have a big match feel for the title. Brock can put over Lee, which would put him over big.
What about the obvious, which is if you're going there, why are you not going to Brock versus Bobby?
Right.
As the next step after that.
It's never been done. I still find it intriguing, but I don't know if Vince would have Keith Lee beat Lesnar. We've seen how he's booked Keith Lee, so that would be my concern: is that you have Lesnar beating Keith Lee.
Oh,
Ethan Kaufman, $5. If Belair and Sasha happens, do you think Bayley gets in to make a triple threat and have a heel in the match?
Ooh, and Bayley takes the pin. Okay, now that's creative. We got to give him credit, Raj. That's creative.
It is. I just think, in a marquee standpoint, Sasha versus Bianca sounds more interesting than a triple threat.
It definitely does. It does. It's like, the immovable object versus the irresistible force on a much different scale, right?
Right.
Just crazy swag versus crazy swag, forward-thinking offensive wrestling versus forward-thinking offensive wrestling, innovative wrestling on both girls' parts. But, again, someone's got to win and lose, and I don't think either one of them can afford to lose right now. That's why I like the other route, which is her Bianca versus Asuka.
Yeah,
gets the title, gets her Mania moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of. I'm not a fan of them having extra people in the match just to get more people on the Mania card. I understand why they do it, but I feel like with the women's,
just to take the pin, though.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, I'm sure they won't have to do that with two nights.
True.
In theory.
That's the thing. I think they can't decide a lot of the time, so that's why it ends up that way.
Almost every year, there's like a 10-person Intercontinental title ladder match. Up until last year, but yeah, they do a lot of multi-person matches just to fit everyone on.
Carlito back tonight with Jeff Hardy versus Elias and Jackson Riker. Jeff Hardy and Carlito getting that win.
Mm-hmm.
Carlito looks great, man. So he's transitioning to a producer role.
Well, they were having him. They were looking at him for a producer role, but I think after seeing how he looks and everything that he can still go, I could see him kind of like MVP. Just being a regular TV character as well.
Yeah, you can't have enough superstars.
Yeah.
No, I think it looked really good. This match was okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Carlito looked good enough.
How far has Elias fallen in the last year or so?
Oh.
A lot. Very, 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 very far.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He's kind of like the resident, kind of like the job guy when they just need to beat somebody. He's like Lucha House Party.
I don't know, I guess it's a tough character to become a babyface with, right?
He was for a while.
That's a tough character when they try to make him baby. And it's a shame. I think he's got everything. He looks the part, too. In a day and age, I always make the argument that these guys don't look like they've been in a real fist fight before. He does.
Should he? I mean, it is kind of what makes him special, but it also seems like now it's holding him back. Should he drop the musical stuff?
Right. I think it depends. If you're somebody who's a fan of him and wants to see him continue to get paid, keep the music act. Yeah. You're never going to be a main event talent, though.
Yeah.
And here's my next question. If they did book him seriously, do you see him beating out, Drew and the guys on top right now? I don't.
No. He would have to switch brands, change his gear, kind of start over almost. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by then, there's like Karrion Kross being called up by then, and 5 other NXT talents that somehow skyrocket past. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think if you get rid of the guitar, his pairing with Riker at that point, oh, that's just going to be bad, man. Like, yeah. Terry Allen Jr. 503. Cesaro or Daniel would have been a fresh winner as yesterday. Edge doesn't need it again. Vince continues overlooking others.
I normally would agree with you with any older talent except Edge. Except Edge.
And they hadn't been building either Cesaro or Daniel Bryan. They've been getting beaten left or right. It just doesn't feel like a big match with them right now. If they had been getting Daniel Bryan wins since the summer and looking like a real top guy, and then he wins and goes after Drew, that would be fresh, or Roman.
And let me give you a spoiler. Cesaro's not coming back to WWE. He's gone. They're not going to be pushing him. And if they look like they're going to start pushing him, it's not going anywhere, guys. Vince doesn't ever like looking bad. And look what happened with Daniel Bryan. Look what happened with Daniel Bryan's initial push. Look what had to happen. All that crap had to line up. CM Punk leaving. All these things had to line up. The fans literally ruining pay-per-views chanting Daniel Bryan had to happen multiple times, not just once. Okay? For them to finally do something with him. That is not happening for Cesaro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those who missed it, Cesaro's contract is up after WrestleMania.
Blue Chew Mafia, Eddie A414, $2 super chat saying Elias is the new Adam Rose.
He's better than Adam Rose. Come on.
I get the comparison, though.
I like that.
Music acts that started off good and faded. Okay. But come on. He's better than him.
Yeah. So, Raj Giri's favorite match of the night, Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross.
Matt?
You didn't think that this is better than what they did in the Rumble with her? I mean, I got a little nervous last night. They're like, I was like, crap, are they not going to do as much with Alexa now? Like, I don't know. I liked what I liked tonight. It was okay. I know you don't like the magic stuff. I get it. But I'm a homer for this entire angle because I do think this is some of Alexa's best work. Guys, if this was thrown at anybody else, I will repeat. I said this like 16 weeks ago, and it was nobody else could pull this off. It would be even. You think it's hokey now, brother? It would be 1,000 times hokier. And I just think Alexa's doing a good job with this because I put myself in their shoes and go, could I pull this off? Hell no. This is an impossible gimmick to pull off. And I feel she is pulling it off.
Her performance is great. It's not her performance I have a problem with, or Orton. It's the story and the magic and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, so they keep changing her outfit. Like she's old Alexa Bliss, then she's 8-year-old girl Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
And
that's cool.
But what? But why? Like what? She's not doing anything when she transforms into either.
You're supposed to be scared when you see like 8-year-old Alexa Bliss. You're supposed to get scared. That's like swinging on the swing set, Alexa Bliss. You got to be scared. Magic can come out.
Yeah. No, it's like the Freddy Krueger thing. You know, it's supposed to be that like creepy sort of.
1, 2, yeah.
And that was creepy, but. This isn't. We missed the Edge promo right before this.
Oh, yeah,
talk about the contrast of going from that Edge promo to this.
I mean, Edge is real. Edge is intense. I think Edge is great. Probably could benefit from a haircut. But no, I think his intensity is just off the charts.
Like you said, it's real. Like it just makes it feel like it's a sport, like you're watching a sporting event or a movie where it's building to that final climax.
His acting is just holy crap. It's on a different level. And I know everyone, you always say like reacting when you wrestle reacts. It is more natural. It always comes across better. And while I'm sure Edge is, let's be clear, he's also a world-class actor. Mm-hmm. And he's been in some really cool things since he left the WWE. And he's just added so much to his war chest on being a better communicator. He's so good. He's so good.
Edge was good before, but he's better now.
Oh, yeah. He is.
Yeah, he's done a lot. What was that movie I watched with him? Interrogation, the WWE films movie he did. That was actually a pretty decent B-action movie.
Vikings, that's not easy to pull off.
I think Vikings is really what turned it around for him.
Like that's not easy to pull off. They don't just like randomly talk like you and I are talking. Like they've got to, they're speaking in gimmick on that show.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So back to Raj's favorite match, Alexa versus Nikki Cross.
We already covered it.
Well, we didn't cover the whole thing, but Alexa won.
There we go.
And with her own version of Sister Abigail in the middle of the ring, and she was celebrating and jumping around, staring down Randy Orton. So they telegraphed the hell out of this with her leaving and exchanging glances with Randy right before his match with Edge started. Ultra Pack, $1.99. How about Roman versus The Rock next year, Mania 38?
Okay.
I'd love it, but that's The Rock's schedule. Remember, this time next year, assuming if all goes to plan, he'll be running the XFL. So
oh, wow.
He's going to be super busy.
What?
Remember, they bought the XFL, and it's coming back next year.
Oh, okay.
And so he's got his movie projects, Young Rock, if that's a hit.
That does look like that's going to be a hit, by the way.
It looks great.
It does look great.
It looks legit funny. So he's got his hand in a lot of things. I'd love to see it, though.
I didn't realize Young Rock was coming out so soon.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a far-off project. Yeah,
Macho Man in it.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Mike, we have a little time. Do you think it's going to be how heavy? I was looking at the clock, man. We got 26 minutes.
Right.
But do you think because it's The Rock? Do you watch the show The Goldbergs that everyone told me I would love? And then I looked at it and I was like, this is just like a Wikipedia of like, hey, remember this? Hey, remember this? Hey, remember this?
Right. Hey, Rubik's Cube. Haha.
Yeah.
Here's the difference. It features a guy that every one of us were absolutely goo gaga crazy over as far as emotionally invested goes.
Yeah.
There's no character that all of us more emotionally invested in than The Rock. When you want your friends to come in the room and say wrestling is freaking cool, you want The Rock on your TV screen. Mm-hmm. He verifies wrestling more than any other talent that we've ever had in the history of the business of making it cool, and not corny. And so because it's The Rock, you know what I mean? It's his childhood story, and he has we've all read his autobiography. He's got some great stories. He'll have even more great exaggerations, including with Andre the Giant and all these other stars he grew up around as a kid. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the question, is how much they're going to get to include of that.
It looks like it's all it is. Like,
they showed Andre. They showed the person who plays Andre the Giant coming in his classroom when he's like in second grade.
Right.
It's just cool. I don't know. It seems cool.
The fact that they're putting so much of the wrestling stuff in the NBC promo shows that. I think it shows that it's going to be a big chunk of it, the wrestling.
And then they can tell people to go on Peacock for the WWE Network selection and watch relevant matches immediately after.
Yeah, no, that would be smart.
Yeah, that's smart.
Michael Ryan, $5. 4 questions for Matt.
4 questions.
Passover? Raj, like, that's $1.25 a question.
Right.
Favorite Raw episode, favorite food and catering, favorite TNA promo, thoughts on climate change, payback.
The movie Payback with Mel Gibson?
No,
pay-per-view?
This is a smart aleck question, but I'll answer it anyway. Favorite Raw episode when Vince bought WCW?
Yeah.
Maybe. I want to say that was one of my favorites. God, what else we got here? Favorite food and catering? Always grilled chicken breast and oatmeal, the combination. Favorite TNA promo? Probably my introduction when I first got to take my suit off for the first time after wearing that damn thing every single week for a year straight. And looking at the rest of these guys and going, I'm way bigger than all of them. What the freak? When can I get this off? But thoughts on climate? Dude, I'm not answering that.
Right, yeah, we can leave that one.
Let's talk about supply side economics. You know, we can just really get into it. The almighty $1.99, Bookeria like late 90s, Triple H, Golden Shovel included.
Glenn, you'll be proud of me. I'll do climate change for you. How about this? I'm so concerned about the environment that as we speak, I'm trying to go out and get precious metals like gold, silver, palladium, platinum, because you take those precious metals, and if you don't recycle them back into your community, you're not doing anything with them. They go into your phone, your Cadillac converter, my phone I'm using right now, the panels on my my sun panels on my roof, my solar panels rather. and it's a very untalked about environment recycling gimmick that I think more people should be talking about.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, recycling tips, you don't have to rinse out everything before you recycle it. They do that at the center. They super rinse and charge out. You're just wasting water. John Cena's bald spot, $5, back after a tough battle with Rogaine. Wish WWE would have been building up Aleister Black all this time and had a heel Black versus Drew at Mania.
Man, you're really feeling Aleister Black, John Cena's bald spot.
Yeah,
I mean, this is like an episode where no one has brought this poor guy's name up in months. And they're all about
I forget about it. Him and Buddy Murphy.
Was Coco I was gonna say, was Coco Beware busy? Like what? That's what it feels like at this point.
A year ago,
it's not his fault, by the way.
No, it's not. A year ago, they had him beating Lashley at WrestleMania. Remember that? They had high hopes for him.
But this is what they do.
Then Paul Heyman was out of power, and they
took his entrance away.
Music. Yeah, they had him wearing an eye patch. I mean, they just jacked him out of the
forgot.
crap.
Well, it's a pirate theme, so it makes sense. Kong Black, $5. Been watching for a long time now. Finally paying Raj for the first time. Haven't watched Raw tonight yet, but yes, Edge needs a haircut.
Yeah. Thanks for the message. Appreciate it. First time messenger.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Okay, so let's talk about this main event tonight. Edge versus Randy Orton. And you can tell wrestling is hot, Raj, because you look at the live viewers we have tonight. And not as many as last night, but you can tell people are pumped, people are motivated. And tonight, I think, started a little slow, but this was a hell of a main event. I mean, these guys went out there and had a real match. Now, granted, Randy got distracted by Alexa in the corner, giving Edge the distraction win over Orton. But I mean, this was, I think, as solid as the matches these guys have had.
Yes. This was let's be clear. This was a good match. This is a very good match. One of the best main events, I'll argue, they've had in, how long would you say, Raj?
Gosh, since, I can't even remember. I mean, this was way better than Drew versus Orton when they did that title match.
Seriously,
gosh,
this is the best main event I've seen on Raw, specifically Raw, not SmackDown, Raw, in forever.
Yeah.
I mean, this was pay-per-view quality, if I'm being honest. Maybe not the finish, but the match itself was really, really good.
Right.
Edge, man, I don't know how he's doing this Fountain of Youth stuff, man.
Yeah, he's 50, 51, I think?
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Let me double check that.
I couldn't even fathom what I'm going to feel like 7 years from now.
Yeah.
And if he only cut his hair, he would look even younger.
He definitely would look young.
He's 47. So.
Oh, okay. So he's 3 years older than me.
Yeah. So, I'm actually pretty close to him in age.
Yeah.
2 years. Anyway, but yeah, he looked good. I think he just needs to dye his hair. I don't think he cut it. He looks more like a star with the long hair. Cool.
In this day and age?
Like a rock star. Well, maybe, yeah. Don't think he looks like a rock star? Shredded up.
Yeah, remember when Metallica cut their hair, though? Like, they looked...
I hated them for it. I was so pissed with them for that.
I didn't like it either.
Really?
I had such beef with them for that. Yes, I pretended to go on strike for all of, like, a month. It
made them look so much more current. So much more, like, now.
Could you imagine Roman Reigns with a crew cut or Seth Rollins?
No. Let's go back to Metallica. I thought when Metallica did that, they looked like they should be coaching their kids' baseball team somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not friggin' James Hetfield friggin' flying his hair everywhere.
Yeah, it looks good for someone that lives in the neighborhood, but as far as a rock star, it didn't. I thought it looked lame.
Well, there you go. No, look, I think I don't know. I thought it worked for them.
But they were like Shawn Michaels held on too long, and he had the skullet. And you got to find the right period.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like it's tough. Long hair is a lot of upkeep. I think people don't realize. Everything that's involved with that. Man buns aren't just for fashion. Sometimes that's the most convenient way to wear your hair.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so what did you think, Raj? Did you like Alexa distracting Randy to get that win?
No, I thought it sucked. I'm fine with them doing a distraction finish, but
Yeah.
her with the ooze coming out of the mouth. Again, this is not. And was it supposed to be that Edge didn't see it? Because the way they shot it made it seem like only Orton was seeing it.
Right.
Yes.
They did shoot it that way. Real quick, this is the reason I did like that, because it guarantees. I hope I'm not cursing this. Do not blame this on me, chat room, if this feud does not end tonight for a little bit between Edge and Orton. But I was hoping, you know what I mean, that what happened tonight happened. So Orton now is going to be pissed off, like different level pissed now. Therefore, all of his attention diverted. Alexa Bliss, the Fiend, great. Now we get the build of Edge and Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be Edge and Roman, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. So it is Edge and Roman.
Makes so
it's definitive?
It's definitive, yeah.
Cool.
Dude, that's freaking huge.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means Edge goes to SmackDown, because, man, if SmackDown already was great, then it's even more, like, without Edge being on Raw.
It's a good show already, right? Yeah.
No, I think it'll feel fresh. I mean, really breathe some life back.
Can I tell you who's gonna suffer on SmackDown? Big E.
Oh,
yeah.
Big E's gonna he's gonna have less camera time because of this, guys. And this is what sucked, because they put all the attention on Roman on SmackDown, which has been amazing.
Yeah.
But like friggin' Big E, man, he's been waiting in the wings, in my opinion, plenty long enough. But you see what happens if you don't pull the trigger on these guys in the right amount of time? They're already on to the next crop of NXT talents that they bring up. And now this is where they keep putting themselves into this corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see what I'm saying? And you have a Bianca Belair, just as an example, sprint past somebody on the roster, Naomi or others, that you kept thinking like, okay, eventually they're going to figure it out. They're going to push this talent for sure. Cesaro is another example.
Mm-hmm.
These ships have sailed for them because somebody's come up from behind them on NXT and has surpassed them in line to be the next big deal.
Yeah.
And I feel that way for Big E, and I hope it doesn't happen. But
you know what they could do with Big E? Have him against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title.
Okay. You know what?
Great.
Hey, yeah.
You know who else? One thing I forgot to mention, Christian is back. That wasn't a one-off.
Wow.
He's back.
Oh, wow.
What about that? What about Big E versus Christian? That'd be good.
That's a big match, yeah. I mean, Christian's return.
Again,
you're not getting your younger people in the mix as much, but I mean, Daniel Bryan's not necessarily.
No, I'm saying Big E versus Christian, right?
Yeah.
And dude, I'm sorry, Christian, but Big E just has to steamroller you at WrestleMania in a big match. He's beating a Hall of Fame. Is Christian a Hall of Fame yet or no?
No.
He will be.
Yeah.
He will be both ways, I think, as a tag team and then as well as a singles act.
Right.
Eventually. But anyways, he beats a big time star, huge star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nationally recognized star.
Right.
The problem, though, Matt, to your point, is that because, I mean, they released a bunch of talent last year, but talent they weren't using, but the roster is so stacked right now.
Yeah.
Like, why bring people up from NXT? I understand they've got a performance center. They keep trying to graduate.
I want to say don't. Honestly,
Yeah.
I love NXT. Keep that friggin' show stocked. Or stacked, rather.
And do a junior show.
There are a couple that I could see, like Tony Storm. I could see being a big star on the main roster. There's a few I feel like they could move from NXT because they're ready. They're good to go.
Well, there's many that Karrion Kross is ready. Karrion Kross comes with a man-made WrestleMania entrance every night he comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's good in the ring.
Yeah. I think he's a can't miss, but you want to make sure you're 100% ready. And in the ring, his matches aren't all there yet. I still think he could use a little work, but he's going to be there for sure.
IDL 1380, $10. Shania Payne goes to NXT, jumps the winner of Dusty Tournament. Raquel G and Dakota Kai injures Dakota. Raquel is forced to find a new tag partner. Guess who? Rhea Ripley, new champs.
Wow. It's a lot of
Hang on,
fantasy.
I got to follow this here. It's tough to follow here.
So Shania and Nia go to NXT. They jump the winners of the Dusty Tag Tournament, which would be Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. They injure Dakota, then Raquel needs a new tag partner, which is Rhea Ripley, and they become the champs.
Rhea Ripley's on the main roster now.
Yeah.
That would be good, though, what he just booked, by the
way. Who could ever beat them? Like, no one could ever beat them.
But that's my argument about Shania Payne right now. Nobody can beat them.
Yeah.
Raquel and Rhea, man, like...
Yes, they're believable. They could beat them.
It's like the Road Warriors.
They could beat most of the men.
Listen,
as well.
the way unstoppable monster tag teams like Brothers of Destruction or anybody else, when it's time for them to lose the titles, if you ever put them on them and make that mistake because they are impossible to beat, it's the mega powers explode, brother.
Yeah.
It's infighting that causes it.
Yeah.
Brandon Hall, man, Raj, you are a hard sell, man. You're not liking anything tonight, LOL. That being said, what'd you think of all overall?
I thought I liked most of the show except for Alexa. So, all right.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing he said he didn't like, I thought.
Right.
People start playing the song, Do You Believe in Magic? And Raj goes, no, I think it's hokey.
Stupid. You do make me feel stupid for liking it, man.
I'm glad I can do what I can.
I do like.
I'm alone here with this, but I'll listen to Wrestling Observer Radio sometimes, and they hate it too. So that helps.
They eat it alive, I bet. Yeah.
No, I believe in it. David Blaine, your magic is real, and I believe in you.
Yeah, I like David. I like David Blaine.
That no one gets where the quotes from. That's fine. Anyhow, what else do we got, Raj, here?
That is about it. Christian status. Let's see. What else do we get? WrestleMania.
What is Christian's status? Hang on. What is it?
So Christian's back. He's going to be doing a part-time schedule.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantasy booking there.
No. He got cleared last week apparently. So
he can bump and feet. He can bump.
Yep.
Wow, that's great. Wow, I should text him. I'm happy as hell for him right now.
Yeah,
because I know his career got cut shorter than he expected it to.
Right. Yeah. Wow. He got that concussion. And he basically, for all intents and purposes, retired. And now, I guess maybe he saw Edge come back and decided to get retested and get back in shape. But I mean, he looked fantastic in the Rumble too.
Yes, he did. And Jay's never been a body guy ever. Right. But he's always had a little bit of abs to him at least, and he's a fantastic worker and a great promo.
Yeah.
I think Christian looks more like a mainstream star than so many guys on the roster.
Oh, yeah, right? Like he looks like somebody have a movie, right? Or somebody
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's funny because Vince used to think the opposite. Like, there is that famous story, the blue dot.
That he's creepy looking.
Right, yeah. Do you remember that blue dot story?
No.
That he wanted to do this gimmick because Christian's face annoyed him so much that he wanted just a blue dot over his face during.
That's terrible. I know he thought he looked creepy and stuff, but yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they made fun of it on the Edge and Christian show.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, that was a real report.
He's a good-looking man. Yeah. What the hell's wrong? Like, what is? I don't get that.
I am Vish saying, "Damn addictive podcast, guys." The last 5 years, good lord, we've been doing it that long. 4.5 now. This year in WrestleMania, they managed to have Edge to sail through. Any predictions for the main event of 2022?
Gosh, I bet you they don't have the majority of the cards for this year. I mean, the majority of the matches figured out for this year. So,
Rock versus Roman.
Rock versus Roman would be huge. But do you think they'd wait for that for the next year in LA when they got that?
It's too Roman can't possibly be booked this way all the way through that, right?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
They'll F it up along the
way. Brian Cyrus, $2. Who would you like to see AJ face at WrestleMania?
I thought one of you guys who said Priest would be very good to help get a nice, young, fresh talent, potential main eventer.
Yeah.
New to the roster over. That'd be good.
Got to stop screwing this up. But with Priest and Rhea, they got to stop the streak of just ruining these call-ups. IDL saying, just for you, Glenn, first time, long time. Rhea Raquel break up eventually because of Dakota being jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not happening. Rhea's, again, she's on the main roster. Just where they go with her. I hope they don't do her with Charlotte again right now. I hope they do.
No, please don't.
Here's the bigger question: is Justin LaBar, who I barely see these days, is he still pushing this "there's no main roster" concept? Like NXT is the main roster?
No, he is not. No. He now hardly even smirks like if I say it.
No longer pot committed. Stellar Justin Lopez. Christian looks like Guy Pearce in Memento.
Yeah.
God, I'm sure that's something the kids all know and I don't.
Memento came out 20 years ago, dude.
Yeah, that's an old. I remember.
I don't know what that is.
It's a movie, but it's backwards. It's about a guy that loses his memory, so you see the last scene first, and then it keeps showing you the scene before, the scene before, the scene before.
That's interesting.
We saw it at this theater in Oakland where they serve you beers and stuff at your table. And I remember I had to go to the bathroom like in the middle of the movie. In that movie, you can't. So you just just hold on to it because it's crazy fast. It's a crazy movie.
Yeah. So who's going to be on Wednesday night, Raj?
So Alfred can't do it, so I might be filling in for Alfred, but definitely Matt and Justin.
Where the hell is Alfred been?
He's been on every week, but this week he can't make it. So
look, I haven't seen him forever since Raw.
I know he's on last week, right?
Yeah, since Raw.
Yeah.
And we're getting great feedback about Friday's show with Issa.
So Issa will be joining us on Fridays.
Be great. Looking forward to that. Okay, so here's the deal, folks. In a couple minutes, Matt Morgan and I are going live on the Stereo app, and we want you to join us for the after show, as it were. Don't forget to join us on Stereo, bit.ly/aftershow21 for exclusive content and the opportunity to join the conversation live. What will we talk about this week? Well, tune in and find out. Do not miss the after show, as it were, after party over on the Stereo app. We go live every Monday after Monday Night Raw. Stereo, the app for live social conversations where we talk directly with you, our listeners. Join the show, ask questions about anything, share your experiences and opinions. We want to hear everything. Download now, join us live this week. And if you miss it tonight, you can always listen on demand. Stereo.com/Glenn Rubenstein, stereo.com/Matt Morgan. We'll have the link in the show notes. And join us on Stereo in a couple minutes. Come back for the Wrestling Inc. podcast, AEW and NXT on Wednesday nights. Until next time, folks, I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and we'll catch you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.